Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 1% podcast with Coach Glenn. I'm here to share with you a conversation I just had with an incredible expert panel talking about the Forbidden Kingdom. It's a humanitarian expedition in the Upper Mustang, Nepal. These gentlemen are going to be trekking for 14 days of hiking on treacherous terrain with a high point of over 17,000 feet. The trek snakes through the valleys overlooking the backside of Annapurna. The team will then continue northwest, arriving to the kingdom capital, hopefully I pronounced this right, Lomanthang, on the Tibetan border, where a lot of Tibetan refugees resettled after the 1950 Chinese invasion. I want to tell you a little bit about our guest today. So there's Pietro Simonetti. He's a skier and mountaineer, an experienced skier and mountaineer. He's led multiple expeditions in some of the most inhospitable regions on the planet. He has lived, worked, and explored over 80 countries throughout the world, adventure skiing in more than 40 of them. He's a graduate of University of Colorado School of Business with an MBA from Regis University. Pedro is also a longtime president of the Colorado Cancer Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping Colorado cancer patients and raising funds for cancer research. In fact, most of Pedro's expeditions have been fundraisers for the Colorado Cancer Foundation. He currently lives in Boulder, Colorado with his wife and teenage daughter. We're going to learn about Pietro and this extraordinary vision that he's assembled a team for. Max Eckstein won't be here for this call, but he's part of the team. He's also a big skier and mountaineer, and they're going to do some heli skiing if they're lucky there in the Himalayas, which will be amazing. But Tom Williams will be with us. He's an ice and rock climber. Tom's a Colorado native, very strong ice and rock climber again. Tom has many years of hiking and mountaineering around the top peaks of the world, and his high altitude knowledge will benefit the team while navigating through weather patterns and mix of rock and ice situations. He currently resides in the El Dorado Springs, Colorado area with his girlfriend, Courtney. And then there's Mirko Musashi. Mirko, he hails from, hopefully I say this right, Biella, Italy, spent years working for DHL and is an expert in logistics. He knows how to solve difficult cross-border situations and will be the team specialist for moving supplies across international borders, including but not limited to medical equipment and medicines. Indeed, Mirko's understanding of transportation paperwork and skills in relentless negotiations will prove invaluable on this trip. He has 2 kids in Italy at this time. Dr. Giovanni won't be with us today, but he's another member of the team. And then we've got Kelly Myers. He's a physical therapist and rafting guide. He's excited to share his physical therapy knowledge with local Nepalese population and will bring medical supplies to aid porters and people working strenuous jobs at high altitude, mitigating ailments. Kelly is also a river rafting guide and will oversee the crossing of the Kali, if I see if I can pronounce this right, Gandaki Glacial River with chest-deep waters as yaks carry the majority of their supplies and medical equipment. Kelly currently lives in Genesee, Colorado with his wife and 3 young kids. These guys are amazing. Just got off an amazing conversation and excited to share that with you. Enjoy. Hey, everybody, Coach Glenn here, and I'm here to talk about the Forbidden Kingdom. We've got an incredible expedition that's going to be happening this spring here. And I've got part of the team here, most of the team. We're missing a couple guys from Italy here, but it sounds like we've got just the right amount of energy to share with our audience today about a really incredible experience for all of you, as well as the folks that they're going to be impacted, and how this is going to spread a lot further to helping a lot of incredible lives in this high impact project that you guys are involved with. And I thought, Pietro, maybe you could share a little bit about this vision and bring our audience into this kind of other world that's off on another side of the planet here that most people don't get an opportunity to observe other than watching on TV when someone else is doing an expedition.
Absolutely. Thanks, Glenn. Yeah, so the idea came because you can tell we're all kind of like hitting the middle of the life mark, I guess, where we can reflect a little bit on all the crazy stuff we've done in the first 40 years of our life. And so we thought, let's do something to go to a place where we can meditate and we can reflect on the life that we had. And originally that was the idea, was really to find a monastery in Tibet or Nepal, where we can just spend some time with the monks and really reflect on our life, and then also what we want to do for the second half of our life. But then the trip really evolved as we started adding team members with different ideas. As we started talking to the Sherpa community, we quickly understood that it wasn't just going to this monastery for a week, that there was a lot more that we could do for the community over there, but also in return, there was a lot of gaining also for the team members, like all these ideas that we had, all this interest and curiosity that a trip like this can really bring back to all of us. And so, like you said, the trip really has morphed into a much bigger goal. And the goal here is to help the Tibetan refugees in this remote part of Nepal. They escaped the Chinese government in the 50s and 60s, relocated in this area that it's very remote, very unforgiving. You're at 16,000 feet, not many resources. A lot of the refugees have never seen a doctor in 70 years. They die of maybe an infected cut or a stomach bug or things like that. We can really make a huge impact by providing some medicines and some medical care over there. But in return, I think we're going to be witnessing a culture that is so rich and so vibrant, and we're super excited to be in this part of the world and really experience their lives and be part of it. Really, we don't want to be there as astronauts or aliens coming in with all these gifts. We really want to be part of their culture and learn how they live, the way their philosophy is. There's so many different aspects of this trip that I think it's going to be incredible.
Yeah, is there someone else in the group that'd like to share a little bit about how you're going to weave yourself into the culture there and get involved, engage with some of these activities of interest that you collectively as a group have come up with? If someone wants to, maybe Kelly, you want to jump in and share about that?
So I'm actually a physical therapist, and my goal to help with this was to, maybe bring athletic tape. So been collecting athletic tapes from people, and I'm going to try to share, ways that most of the people there have to do a lot of traveling around. That's, they have to walk from place to place, right? So what happens if you roll your ankle? You can't get food, you can't get drinks, you cannot get to the next town. So I'm hoping that I can teach a lot of people how to tape their ankle, for example, to allow them to get to the next town, to get to the next food. Obviously, I'm going to learn more than I'm going to teach, but I wanted to impart some of my therapy knowledge as best I can to a remote area, and hopefully, enrich myself and their lives. So that was my main part of integration into them, was learn cultures and also, help with some basic medical stuff like a tape job for the ankle or for the knee, or like your wrist, for example.
Yeah, simple things that we take for granted.
Yeah,
here could really make such a massive impact on quality of life there. And then there's some other I'm sure there's a whole bunch of medical resources, and you guys are going to be bringing. Maybe someone could speak a little bit about. I guess you guys are also going to be bringing school supplies, and we even talked about toothpaste, and maybe someone else could share a little bit about some of the logistics of, because you got to pack this stuff in, and yak it in like 7 days of hard terrain to get there, and maybe someone could share a little bit about the logistics that go with that.
Mirko, you're the logistic guy. Mirko worked for DHL for many years. What do you see?
Okay, my microphone is on. I speak very bad English. I understood very little, about 50%. Pietro certainly explained the objectives of this trip. I'm not a skier, I'm not a climber, I'm not a mountaineer. I started walking in mountains just before the age of 40, but I am the Pietro schoolmate when he was a teenager. And I probably represent his bond with his country, but I am also a good friend. I try. And I can bring my experience in logistics. I work for 15 years for DHL, and now I work for a company in waste management and my circular economy at the moment. I am the same age of Pietro, and this year there are 50 years, half century for us is a goal. Is a goal, and and it is also a new start for us. I always loved the Oriental philosophy. I practice yoga. I know something about Buddhism religion and Tibetan religion, especially. And I'm very curious to start with this experience. I'm grateful with Pietro because he involves me in this project, and I will do everything I can to help the people, to help the local people.
And so it sounds like there'll be an aspect of helping the locals, and then also them probably helping you guys in mysterious ways from integrating with their, I think, I know there's an interest in like learning language, you guys are in classes right now, learning the language. You guys are also involved with, there's a desire to want to be sous chefs when you're there and learning, coming back with some good recipes, but I think it expands much further than that. Maybe one of you guys, I guess we got, we'll put Tom on the mic next, share a little bit about just, what you're hoping to get from this trip as an individual, and then also, the collective group, like what speaking for the group as well, like what are there's a desire to go here and do this incredible feat, and there's a lot that goes into this and making this happen. But what, as a collective, as a group, what's the real mission, and maybe also then speak to your personal side of it as well too, for you, like how, what it means to you.
Sure. Well, maybe I could start with the personal side first, if that's all right. I've been a climber since I was about 11, 12 years old, starting with rappelling off my parents' chimney. And soon took rock climbing lessons after that. And been a kind of a full-time rock and ice climber, ever since. And I always had a, great reverence for, reading every book I could find and whatever, for the Himalayas, the greatest range in the world, and kind of the effect it has on the people spiritually, mentally, or just, their lifestyle. Just reading old Reinhold Messner's books and these expeditions where people would be out of touch for months and months and go these mind-altering experiences that they'd have in the high mountains were just riveting. I was held that in really incredibly high regard. And then in college, I took some yoga classes just by chance, and I realized how much it helped my rock climbing. And by chance, I got to do a trip to India in 1989, and I only had $100 and no credit cards, nothing. And I basically ran out of money in India. But it made me travel in a way that I was not the superior Westerner flushed with cash. And I was really a brother, a regular, a traveler, citizen, human being, with the whole culture of people that I was, again, not their superior. And it really made a difference on the trip, both doing the yoga and traveling that way. And since that time, I've been to India many times and Nepal once, but what attracts me about this trip is that we're not coming, as superior people. We're coming as, in our own minds is all I mean. But we definitely have some material advantages, but we're not coming in a boutique trip that's comfort, and we do have guides and we do have help, but it's not going to be over the top. It's not going to be posh we're going to be one of the people. We're going to make real connections, or I wouldn't be interested. We're going to, have money and material, and we're going to share with people, but we're going to share with them as equals. Is my hope, not as superior Westerners giving money to some pathetic, people from a third world country. Not at all. We want to be with them. We want to be having a real exchange as equals, and that's the only way, I want to travel. And despite my mountaineering background, I don't want to go to Nepal and do Everest anymore, at least not on the popular routes, or, all that's disgusting to me now. I'd rather find unknown mountains or quieter mountains or something where you can really feel that experience, which is why you're climbing in the first place, not just to get to something, the top of something for bragging rights. And I don't want to go to Nepal and just say, oh, we went to this region and we gave stuff to these, sad people or something. It's like, no, I want to make real connections with these people and, not alter their lives, but, improve them materially, but also take something from them. I mean, exchange wise, by treating, having an experience of them as equals and, equal human beings. And we have a lot to learn from them, his attitude, as well as what we can give to them. So
yeah, I feel
I
like
hope I haven't said too much.
No, I feel like that's having backpacked through Southeast Asia, when you spend time with people and you're not on the tourist path and you're not rushing from destination to destination, you actually get an opportunity to meet and connect with locals, eat in their house, develop those interactions, and just a place of like, hey, we're just fellow human beings from different backgrounds, but we all still have the same needs and interests in a certain sense, as far as at the core. And then but there is an aspect of you that you guys that is wanting to have adventure too. So it's like this is a life that they're living all the time, and you're coming into a community hiking out there. And I know there's desires for maybe we will do some skiing there. Maybe we will. We're going to be. You guys have to train to be there because you guys are going to be doing some altitude work. So I presume that's been a challenge for everybody lately, just getting in the right shape, conditioning for. You guys shoot out in May, is that correct?
Yep, end of May.
End of May. So maybe Pietro share a little bit about like how this idea kind of came about, and then what's all that needs to happen right now, leading up to the event here, because it's coming up really quick, and the support you're needing, as from not just from the group, but outside of the group as well too, and what's been starting to show up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we've had great help from the Sherpa community. They're kind of our advisors, because coming from Colorado in Italy, you know a little bit about Nepal, but you don't know the real intricacies of exactly what's happening there. So, for example, this particular area of Nepal wasn't even on our radar few months ago. Originally, we were going to go to Tibet and do this in Tibet, but then after talking to the Sherpa community, they said, Pietro, the Chinese government really has a stronghold on the Tibetans. They have microphones and cameras in every house. They can't speak freely. They can't really practice their culture. And if you're going to really experience that Tibetan culture and philosophy, it's not in Tibet anymore. You have to find with the refugees that have escaped this oppressive regime. And so this area of Nepal in Upper Mustang, which is the Forbidden Kingdom, that's where a lot of them have resettled. So it takes a special permit to get there. The Nepalese government really doesn't want too many tourists in that area. So we had to first secure the permit, which took a while. And then look at the logistics, which they're not simple. That's why not many people go there, because we have to cross passes that are like 14,000, 15,000 feet. We're going to be at elevations up to 17,000 feet. We have to cross glacial rivers chest deep. We have these yaks, we have porters. I mean, there's a lot of logistical aspects why people don't go there. It's a little bit of unforgiving terrain. Looks like Mars in many ways. You have the backdrop of these beautiful 8,000-meter peaks on your south side, and the rest is a high desert, basically, with these rivers that kind of cross this high terrain. So yeah, it's going to be an incredible landscape. I don't think any of us have seen anything like this in our travels.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I know you guys will be coming back with videos and photos, and I know a lot of folks will be really inspired to see this kind of other, Martian, where this Martian crusade took place. But going back to the logistics of, that doesn't, one, crossing hard terrain, but also you guys are going to be bringing in quite a bit of, sport materials for not just for the group to sustain this trip, but also what you're trying to do as far as impact with the villages that you'll be visiting. So bringing it, you guys are planning on, what are some of the things you guys are trying to bring over, to support?
Yeah, we talked to the Sherpa community, to really get a good sense of what are the necessities. And again, like you said, we're very limited on space because we only have 3 yaks and some porters and us. So it seems like the most essential gear are hats, socks, gloves, base layer, eyewear, medicines. If we can bring a little bit of each one of these items, we can have a huge impact. And I know you and I talked about this. For me, there's always that visual image of the movie Saving Private Ryan at the end of the movie, where you see all the people dying to save Ryan, and then what the impact was at the end of the movie. Like, you have Ryan with all his kids and grandkids and nephews and nieces, and how big that family became by saving one person. And I think when we go on a trip like this, if we're able to save one person, what is going to be the impact with that family and the community at large? And somebody that maybe would have died of an infected cut, and now we brought some Neosporin and we were able to save his life.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful what you guys are attempting to do. And then I also talked with you about some of the other stuff that lights you up, and just the aspect of connecting with the children as well. And you had shared that you guys are bringing a makeshift puppeteer setup, and I thought that was really wild. Maybe you could share a little bit about that as well too, because I thought
Kelly and I are going to be the puppeteers. We're actually studying, practicing right now. So yeah, it's a little stage that rolls up, and we're going to use Aesop fables translated in Nepalese. And as we stop at the different villages at night, we're going to do some puppet shows for the kids and the community there. So it should be a ton of fun to do that.
I love how you guys are all excited. The other two are just like, I'm not doing the puppets. We'll be that's not my skill set.
I can't wait to be Little Red Riding Hood. Are you kidding me? It's gonna be great.
That's gonna be amazing. I'm just I'm picturing like Mr. Rogers puppets, kind of, just talking and connecting with the kids, having that impact of those memorable experiences. Is there anything else that that would be helpful for our audience, just on how they could maybe get involved and support this adventure? Because it's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things that need to be collected, and you guys are kind of getting closer to crunch time. And so just how can the audience support you guys?
Well, I know we have a lot of events planned, pre-departure and post-adventure. So we're partnering with different breweries in Colorado. I know we have breweries in Boulder, Torrington, Golden, Denver, and Evergreen, where we can do these pre-departure get-togethers, and people, if they want to buy a toothbrush or if they want to buy some medicines, that's a good way to fundraise and also learn more about the trip. We're going to have maps. We're going to have the gear that we use. We're going to talk about the challenges, the mission. And the breweries are donating $1 a beer that night to the cause. So I'll share with you the list of breweries and the dates.
Right.
And when we come back from the trip, probably in July, we're going to have a post-expedition get-together where we can show pictures and videos and everything, and the distribution of the gear to the refugees. I think it'll be incredible just to document that side of like how those little items can really change their lives quite a bit.
Well, that's why I think it'll be really fun for folks to get involved with this project, because, just unlike maybe going to when you're checking out of the grocery store and you got an opportunity to donate your change to Children's Hospital, blah, 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 that they get an opportunity to see you guys before you set off on this quest, and also get to hear and see the transformation that happens within you guys, but also get to see some of the imagery and actually know that, like, oh my gosh, they're wearing those mittens, they're brushing their teeth with that toothpaste. That it's just an opportunity to get involved with something locally here that's gonna it's gonna reach the other side of the world and have a positive impact, and you just get to participate in this incredible. I'd love to go on this adventure. I know a lot of people are sitting listening and wishing they could go on this adventure as well in some way. So I think I think we'll make sure this information's available to folks so they know where to come and connect with you guys. And will the whole team be at the events, or just be primarily you guys at?
Yeah, so we're doing some in Colorado, so it's going to be the Colorado side. So Tom, Kelly, Max, and I in Colorado, and then I'm actually flying to Italy at the end of April. So we're going to do a couple of events there with Mirko, and then there's also a doctor, my brother-in-law, Giovanni, who's not on the call today, and then we'll do a couple of events in Italy as well.
So how many members total are in the group? So you got 6. Plus the Sherpas, and then so it'll be six of you guys, and then how many Sherpas? So
this is a good question. We don't know yet. What the Sherpa community recommended is when we show up at these villages, a lot of the people there earn about $1 a day with very hard work, mostly just raising yaks and making butter and cheese, that kind of stuff. So if we can employ them, the Sherpa community really suggested that we should do that. Just carrying some of the loads, maybe it doesn't have to be super big loads, but the more people we employ, the more impact we can have, a positive impact in their lives. And so the idea is to employ as many as we can from one village to the next, and then switch them over and get some porters at that village, and then go on. So it might be a pretty good group, to be honest. I know we're going to have 3 yaks, 6 of us, a cook, a guide, a translator. We have a spiritual lama, the reincarnated priest, with us that will help us with the philosophy and the religion aspect. And then probably another, I would assume, maybe 5 or 6 Sherpas at each village.
And I heard from you that you also had intentions of possibly, if there's a way you guys are working on trying to even meet up with the king there too. That's something on the possibility.
There's the king of the Forbidden Kingdom, and we're trying to set up a meeting with him to see. I'm very interested personally, I think the rest of the group too, about the changes that are happening up there, and from a political standpoint, but also maybe from atmospheric weather standpoint. We're interested in because they've been there for so long that they can really see the changes in the world.
Well, as we wrap up today, maybe we can leave with each person just kind of sharing what your primary intentions are going into this adventure. It'll be great to check back when we maybe do the next interview when you guys return, just about what has transpired. So I know we often step into things with these grand intentions or something that just really lights us up, and then we find some other magic gets worked through us. And so it'd be great to kind of check back later with you guys, but maybe just going around with everybody here, each person kind of sharing what their big intentions are with this trip. And we're all going to pray for that you find that and so much more. So
Kelly, do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. I honestly came into this with no expectations. Just what a trip! What an amazing chance at the halfway point in my life to do something cool with some really amazing people. And starting with that, we got to meet Karma Sherpa and really get to know what the Sherpa community is looking like and what they expected. And one of the things that surprised me is that they really need toothbrushes. I mean, basic stuff like that. And so one of the companies has donated bamboo toothbrushes. We need more, but not plastic, something kind of amazing there that we're going to bring to people that they really need, and with that, I was thinking things that I could bring. and now I'm seeing what's going to be brought to me is far outweighing anything that we can bring to them. So kind of ready for a physical and spiritual journey.
Great. Thanks, Cal. Who wants to go next?
Tom, what do you think?
Well, I probably said too much already in my first rant, but but being on the spot, I've sort of lived this life for a long time, so I'm hoping just to reconnect to some of the magic and beauty and just the basic generosity and kindness of the people I've experienced before, to continue that and to reappreciate how wonderful that is, and be happy to give things from the West. Again, we have so much material, but we don't have so much of what they have, and to balance it out a little bit, I think would benefit both cultures very much.
Oh, great. Thanks, Tom.
Mirko, what do you think?
The question is, what are my expectations?
What your expectations and intentions for that you'd love to experience?
I expect some pain, a lot of pain, probably some cold, but I'm very curious to meet this population that live in very hard and extreme areas, but they have an happiness inside that we in the West probably can't, we are not able to understand why they have this serenity, why they have this acceptation of the pain for go over the pain. Okay. I also very curious to see these beautiful mountains with no filters in the light. Everybody says that in that area you can see the colors in a different way. Okay, there are no smog, clear air, freshness. I'm very curious to see extreme condition that here in Italy, in the Alps, I can't see. For me, it's now it is very difficult to come si dice, Pietro, tradurre in realtà quello che vogliamo fare. Cioè,
really hard to translate what we want to do because there's so much unknown. That's
now we have to do something of concrete. Pietro is a great leader because he found some sponsor, but now I want to make my part in this project. I want to be an actor of this project. I don't want to be only a tourist. I want to do something before and during the trip and after the trip, because I like adventure, and everybody here like adventure, and probably we are doing this trip for this reason. This is the first reason, because we are curious to see a part of world that probably it will be different very soon. No? And so but now it's time to do something of concrete. We have to collect medicine. We have to collect everything that can help this population.
Great, great answer. Pietro, maybe you could actually share, kind of summing things up, but like the after effect of this trip. What are we hoping that maybe we're just get your wheels spinning on this, is like after this trip is over, and we've gone on this incredible adventure and we've inspired and showed others what's possible, because everybody has adventure within themselves that's wanting to live forth, and people have an opportunity to contribute and get involved with this project and learn about, you know, the actions, you know, that are required to make something come to fruition. What would be your intention with this trip if it grew legs after this?
Well, I think we're gonna all come back as very different people. You know, we're going in with great intentions, and I think just based on experience on other trips similar to this one, you always come back as a very changed person. You know, like in some ways the lives that we live here in the West, they have this fake comfort that they're fantastic and great lives, and then you go there and they have so little compared to what we have, but they have the things that Mirko described. They have that happiness, they have their joy of living that we don't have anymore to that degree, you know. And I think when you experience that, you come back and you start questioning a lot of the actions that we do day to day here. So I think it's going to be one of those mind altering trips that will really makes us question a lot of things. In fact, I bring this up because originally there was another team member that I invited him to this trip, and he flat out said, Pietro, I would love to go. I think it sounds fantastic, but I'm afraid of coming back and not being able to live this reality anymore. So I can't do it. I can't go.
And you can respect that, because you know that's actually a very true statement.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's leave it at that. I think this has been a great conversation, and we'll point folks into the resources and ways to connect with you guys. Just super appreciated to be able to connect on this platform here today with everybody, and we'll be having probably plenty more follow-ups as well. But yeah, just I'd raise a toast to you guys, but hopefully you'll put one up for me when you guys are up on the mountain. Thank you guys for being here, and just it's incredible to be along the adventure with you guys, to share and be inquisitive and be along with your ride. You guys, your curiosity is stretching, and it's impacting myself and others that get to hear about what you guys are up to. Yeah, it's going to be just beautiful to watch transformation with you guys, and some of the flavors that you guys come in contact with on this incredible, inspiring expedition. So off to the Forbidden Kingdom you guys go.
Thanks, Glenn.
Okay.
Thank
you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.
Thanks very much, Glenn. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Bye.